So Trump bragged about Nazis marching around generally. He coined the phrase the war on DEI and how he's bragging about bringing the Confederacy back to the Pentagon. And this is all rooted from the University of Virginia, Charlottesville. Nazis and Ku Klux Klans with tiki torches marching around generally. But Trump wants to defund Palestinians, peaceful Palestinian protesting in Harvard against being slaughtered in the Gaza Strip. Genocide. Peaceful protesters and Palestinian students, he wants to round them up and defund Harvard because they're peacefully protesting against the war in the Gaza Strip of genocide, of their families and friends being slaughtered in the Gaza Strip. So Trump wants to defund Harvard. But when it comes to Virginia, Charlottesville University, there's fine peoples on both sides. And the Ku Klux Klan Nazis have the right to protest. And ever since then, he brags about defending their right to their monuments, the Confederate monuments, the great General Lee monuments, and how he put P. Haystack to brag about it as the warrior ethos, the war on DEI. There's something wrong with this picture here. Trump wants to celebrate Victory Day parade. Close to his birthday, he wants to celebrate Victory Parade. And in the White House, he's talking about celebrating the Victory Parade, but bragging about General Lee monuments again. Because he can't get it out of his head, out of his heart, how Ku Klux Klans marched around General Lee. And he wants to brag about it. Even in his Victory Parade, he probably thinks there were fine peoples on both sides while he celebrates the Victory Parade. Close to his birthday, because he wants to have it like a military parade, quasi-fascist. Because he doesn't know where to stand on the issue. Nah, he basically knows where to stand, because he's been bragging about it ever since. You know, there's something wrong in America when you want to defend Ku Klux Klan's Nazis as chief and commander. He has no quorum. He says there's fine peoples on both sides and they have the right to protest. Meaning Ku Klux Klan's Nazis marching around generally in Virginia, Charlottesville campus. A college campus. It was a college campus that these Ku Klux Klan Nazis were marching around General Lee. A college campus, Virginia University. But as a chief and commander, they got the right to protest, meaning Ku Klux Klan Nazis. And as chief and commander, he will defend the Confederacies and brag about it. Ever since his first term into his second term, he keeps on bragging about it. Even when he insinuated in the Oval Office or in the White House about celebrating Victory Day parade. Well, he could probably dress up like Al Ducehead. And he believes that there's fine people's probably on both sides because he kept on bragging about the Confederacy again. How he's so proud that in his second term with the warrior ethos, he imposed the Confederate name bases again inside the Pentagon to rub indignation against the black soldiers that fight and die to defend our country. And his obsession with the war on DEI, making it hard for equal opportunity. Because now they gotta merit it. It was not too long ago that the Africans couldn't merit the white man's permission to sit at the same lunch counters, to drink from the same water fountains, to go to the same businesses, to shop, or to go to the same colleges or high schools. Because the white man didn't merit them doing that, because they felt that they were subhumans, that they were savages because of the color of their skins, that they needed to be treated like property rather than humans. Back then, the white man said, oh, the blacks don't have no merit. So I guess Trump doesn't have a good memory of history, because he keeps on bragging about it. The warrior ethos, the war on DEI. He wants to defund Burma. Because of Martin Luther King, he wants to defund colleges in Burma. He said that January 6th, where his white supremacies were raiding the Capitol, that was better than Martin Luther King "I Had a Dream" speech. That his speech in the ellipse was better than Martin Luther King's speech, and that he had bigger crowds than Martin Luther King. So there's something seriously wrong when the chief of commander thinks that the Nazis, the Ku Klux Klan's Americans, have the right to protest in a university, Virginia University, around General Lee. They have the right to do it. They're fine peoples. But hard studying Palestinian students peacefully protesting against their friends and families being genocide for the Riviera Trump vacation strips of the Commonwealth of Trump, when they protest against genocide of being slaughtered in the Gaza Strips, when they peacefully protested in Harvard, oh, deport them. They don't got the right to protest. They don't got the right to be in this country. And I'm going to defund Harvard. See, there's something wrong in this country in the 21st century under the Conservative Party. There's something seriously wrong. That these are the conservative values, and they are in the forefront with Trumpisms. Something seriously wrong. So there's a double standard in the conservative values of this country. There's a double standard of hypocrisy, of bigotry, and of racism, and elitism of racism, of white supremacy under a Trumperary banner. So Harvard gets defunded. The war on DEI, so Harvard gets defunded because they're protesting the Palestinians that Trump wants to create a vacation strip for only rich people while they ethnically cleanse and apartheid Palestinians, poor Palestinians, not to come back to their territories. Because Trump and Jerry wants to create Trump Gaza Riviera casinos, Holiday Inns of Trump resorts, if you will, golf courses, you know, the Trump Wealth Organization, or the Commonwealth of Trump. And he wants the Palestinians to be ethnically cleansed away as poor Palestinians, never to come back. Go run away to Egypt, run away to other countries, to Yemen, but don't come back, you're too poor. Only rich people can come back. So when Palestinian students at Harvard start to peacefully protest against Trump and his never-ending narcissistic ambitions, they get defunded. Harvard. Trump comes up with the war on DEI, not only for blacks, for browns, but now for Palestinians. And now he imposed the travel ban again. Ban Muslims while he saves the Easter Bunny. As a bigot. Y'all didn't know that the Ku Klux Klans were bigot Christians too. Y'all didn't know that? And the Nazis too believe in Christianisms, but in a perverted way. Because they don't believe that God made all human beings equal. So, white racism in America. When you want to defend the Confederacies of General Lee and brag about it with the warrior ethos and talk about how you brought back the Confederate name bases because you keep on bragging about it. Even in your parade, you want to brag about the Confederacies. You might believe that the parade, Victory Day parade of Trump, there's fine peoples on both sides of the parade. If you get what I'm saying. Like Charlottesville, Ku Klux Klan Nazis. So in his second term, he's still bragging about that symbolism of white supremacy in that university. Not once did he take action against that university, right? He admired it. He adored it. He supported it. The Ku Klux Klan Nazis around General Lee. But if you dare be an African in Burma, symbolism of Martin Luther King, he's going to defund y'all because it's the war on DEI for black university funding as far as his obsession with his war on DEI. In the second term, you know, he wants to obsess about making it harder for the blacks because now they got to kiss the white man's ass just to merit their approval. Like he said, his speech was better than Martin Luther King in January 6th. I guess Trump has a better dream other than Martin Luther King's dream. A perverted dream at that. A real sick, degenerate, perverted dream. But he thinks in his delusional head that his dream is better than Martin Luther King's dream speech in the ellipse in January 6th. Why they wanted to blow up Kamala Harris with 2 pipe bombs, why they wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi and hang his vice president. Somehow that was better than Martin Luther King I Had a Dream speech. And that his crowds in January 6th were way bigger. Now, these are the conservative parties. These are the ones. Mike Johnson, Jerk-Off Johnson, says that Trump is the best president of all presidents in American history. Can you imagine how much of a jerk-off he is? Just to suck up. Just to suck up. Maybe his son can text him and talk some sense into him and talk him down. But these are the Republicans that cozy up to Trump. So there's a double standard in this country. Damn sure there's a double standard. Because the conservative values, they have an obsession about the Confederacies and denigrating and rubbing salt in the wounds of the civil rights for black people in this country. The Trumpocrats. And they rub indignation against browns in this country, Latinos, to gentrify us and to uproot us and depart us from this United States only to cleanse it. Ethnically apartheidists, just to make sure that their white populations are kept in the majority. So they believe in ethnic cleansing brown Latinos out of this country. Doesn't matter if you've been here for 20, 30, 40, 100 years as Latino Americans, United States Americans, they will deport y'all. They'll think of y'all as anchor babies. And they'll hold you in captivities and prisons in third world prisons throughout the world. Maybe like Abu Ghraib. So, it's funny when you think about the double standard in this Trump movement. That Charlottesville University, hell, there's fine peoples on both sides. They have the right to protest. And I would defend the Confederacies. Well, he's going to give scholarships to Ku Klux Klan Nazis? And that university? Trump scholarships. Because he can't stop bragging about that movement that started his never obsession with the Confederacies. Never ending obsession. That in the second term, he coined the phrase, the war on DEI. He wants to defund the colleges in Burma, but not Charlottesville University. He adores that. It stood in a warm place in his heart that you can hold a tiki torch up to. There's something wrong when you're the president and you want to grope the Star Spangled Banner, but then you have some type of sexual urges for the Confederacy. You get a hard on for the Confederacy. There's something wrong as a president of the United States when you try to flirt with both flags at the same time.